everyone, and welcome back to Napoleon Total War with the Eras mod. Last time around, I don't actually remember what we did, but let's go do an overview of everything, and I'm sure we'll do just fine. So, there was a comment saying as soon as Prussia joined Spain in the war, I should have gone for Berlin. Now, there is a problem with that. Now, Berlin doesn't have a lot of troops. It has a full stack within the town, and then there's a half stack outside. So, yes, Ney and Suchet should definitely be able to take those guys on. The problem is, there's a fort holding up there. I could bring Ney because he has the bigger guns, so he could possibly even be able to break the walls if he attacked first. However, he also has the most cavalry, and he's got the weak German brigade with them. So that could make things more difficult. And then also, leaving Saxony unattended might have the consequences of we moving forward, getting, almost crushed in a battle, certainly losing a lot of troops there, and then what we've done is just expended capital to gain something while we just end up losing both areas, because we got Denmark advancing on this side, which means they would have been potentially coming at Berlin from that way, and then we got all the Prussians, which we haven't really seen where they're pulling as of yet with their armies, which they have a lot of. And currently we're one turn away from building our own fort in Dresden. And once that's done, that place will be more or less impregnable. I am very confident that the AI will not be able to break that. What they will be able to do is lay a prolonged siege to try and starve us out. But in that case, I've got 3 armies coming to the reinforcement of Ney, and who was it now again? Suchet, right? Yes. So we got Massena with his newly mustered army coming from France. On his way, he'll be there in 3 turns. And then we also have Davout with his experienced army, who will be there in 2 turns. And then we also have Sul with his army, which will be there in about 2 to 3 turns. So that's my plan for this area. We'll wait until the reinforcements arrive before we start to break down the Prussians. Of course, quick victories and taking, the enemy's capital would have been splendid, but I feel like there's too risky here. I only got 2 armies. The Prussians got plenty of armies in the area, so we'll be a little bit more conservative, not take as many risks. Let's hope that the Prussians still are mostly focused on the Austrians through this gap right here, or potentially that might be what they're doing here. Otherwise, with that sort of settled in this area, what I've got going on, I have a little bit of a fleet here, which I'm hoping I did capture another British carronade ship, same as the ones I've been building here. So I actually captured one from the British, so we're slowly actually gaining on this fleet without building any more ships. This eventually, I'm hoping, is going to be able to strike further through here, and so I can land directly onto the Danish main island and kick the Danes out of the war, because Denmark is beginning to give me Sardinia feelings with the amount of full stacks they're sending around all over the place, and that could be potentially troublesome. Otherwise, of course, we took out the Spanish, so that frees up the Polish army, which could be moved then up here against the Prussians as well, or sent somewhere else. The sea in the Mediterranean is completely under our control. I could go ahead and open up a campaign against the Russians. I mentioned now I'm starting to remember last video. I mentioned that I was gonna get the Ottomans in on the war against the Russians, and so I have. Not so much because I think they could make major advances. The real thing that I was worried about was that I was seeing a lot of Ottoman armies around here in the Greek territories. And with them moving a lot of troops here could potentially mean that they were moving in this direction. So I wanted to redirect them to then focus against the Russians. So now hopefully they will be focused there. And I don't have to worry about the Ottomans backstabbing me like a lot of other nations have done. So that's what's going on there. Not entirely sure what we'll do with the Polish. I just right now thought about sending the Polish then to attack Crimea and taking that over. Very topical. Otherwise, in this area, I've been able to hold the British off. They still have 2 full stacks intact. And we are still, even though they burnt the supply depot here, we're still getting green resupply. So we should be able to hold on. I have tasked, or I've sent down. No, that's not the wrong. That's the wrong. There we go. 2 12-pounders that will replace Grouchy's 2 4-pounders. To expand that. We are hopefully gonna send a lot more heavier cannons all around as I'm recruiting a lot of them. Just in the next turn we will have 4 12-pounder batteries ready to be sent to the east. But what I'm thinking to start off today's episode is a naval battle. I have been able to build up quite the fleet, so we got 1 10-ship fleet here and 1 right here, plus we got some extra, 1 extra ship up here. But I have been able to bring together 21 ships then against the British. The British have some smaller 5th-rate frigates, they have some captured ships without guns or crew, almost. Here's a 74 one that they've captured from the Dutch. It only got 63-man crew and seemingly no guns. Plus, we would be able to hopefully even recapture some of our own ships here. So I have great confidence here that we could potentially sink a lot of British ships. And in this area I've got 3 ports, so I could be repairing the ships and putting them back into action soon enough, and we would be pushing from currently sort of holding on to these areas a little bit to actually completely gain control of the bay right here, and then even extending naval control up into British waters. And we would turn the English Channel into the French Channel, and that would also then open up for, instead of sending the Polish onto an expedition to Russia, to instead send them on an expedition to Ireland, and we would start to break down the United Kingdoms, to leave them struggling, fighting in their own area and not worrying so much about Spain. There's enough pain in Spain to go around anyways. Looking at my fleet, the most experienced one is the one under Julie Marie Cosmo, lots of names. So he will be leading the attack. And I will bring up the other ships to be ready then to move in as reinforcements for this fight. And we're going to see about striking the British main fleet as well, which I would gather is this one. It has the most ships, and it seems that they have the most intact ships. Now when I think about it, actually, because we're pretty close where I release... I don't have that many videos stored. I could actually post this as a poll. Let's just make sure that I'm looking at the right one. Gregory Arkwright. Right. Yes, that's the one. So I could post this actually as a question in on the in the community tab. Wonderful, engaging with the people. Let's make sure that the other fleets come in to aid me. Otherwise, this will end quite badly. Right, we have ourselves a big naval battle. I am pleasantly surprised to find that the biggest British fleet contains not one, but 3 fifth-rate frigates, 1 brig. So a lot of that was just puff. Another brig broken down. Our own ship, that we want to recapture that one. This one, the Dutch one, it's a sailing piece of something. Most of this, Hero and Newton, they're all broken down. So it's another fleet of completely broken down ships. Queen Charlotte, that one might be dangerous. The carronade one, Richmond, to look out for. First rate Glasgow also, but then we've got another 3 fifth rates. And the final one, another carronade one. Carronade ones can be really deadly, as I've experienced up here in the channel when fighting with the British. We have plenty of our own though. We have 4 carronade ships, so we should do well as well. It's set in our favor, but who knows. In terms of what ships, what named ships take part in the battle, is the Admiral is on board Kurt's ship, the Bucentaur. The British ships we've captured. We have the Formidable, which is commanded right here by Kirkman's gunners, I believe. And then we have Invincible, Youngbun. And let's see, Indomitable, my Mattia. There should be more, but I think they might be off down south. There will be another round of this, taking a look at who should command what. I should update this naval list for anyone that's interested, any member that's interested. With that said, let's go ahead and sweep the seas clear of this British tomfoolery. I don't know. I was about to say something worse. Anyways, onwards to battle. Normally, I don't show the naval battles, but here we'll be in on each other's throats right at the start, and I thought to make it a little bit easier for you to understand what's going on, I would mix quite heavily with heavily in favor of sort of the cinematic bit, because naval battles usually take a very long time. But I'd go ahead and mix it in, just explaining what I do. So I start off with having the larger ships lined up like this to fire at the British as they approach. I usually call this lineup my Trafalgar battle plan, because this is roughly what the French and Spanish did at Trafalgar. They made a long line and then the British attacked into it like this, rather than sort of going around and going up alongside like this. We're gonna meet the British though by having a number of ships go out of the formation at the same time at a given moment. Most interesting is going to be the carronade ship that is going to go and run up the sides of the British and hopefully completely destroy them. And then we also have some of these 74 gun ship and 80 gun ships. And I think it's also easier for you guys to see who's where. So I've got Youngban with the Invincible right in the center. Then the Admiral is over here with Kurt up here. And then we got Kirkman's Gunners and Mattia both gonna go out through there. So the ships to look out for in terms of members is this one, the middle, and then these two right here. So keep a track of that. But otherwise, let's get into this fight. And we're getting reinforcements. Heroic death. Immediately aboard the Austerlitz, my Admiral falls overboard. The stupid bastard. the first fight is more or less done. Most of the British ships are either trying to leave or destroyed, dismasted or surrendered. Quite a few of them exploded. There is a reinforcement on the way. I have set up to fire chain shot at the sails, and I'm hoping here that Commerce de Paris is going to be able to take on... Oh, someone else just exploded. That wasn't one of mine, was it? Oh, Jesus Christ, the amount of fire on this one. How have you managed to take on that much fire? Was he catching on from these? It seems like most of the surrendered ships are exploding. So far, the only ship I've lost was my carronade ship, which I think is the one that's right here. So this one was a British ship. This was the carronade one. You can tell this is the carronade one because this one exploded first. Once that exploded, all the troops on top of this one, which have surrendered, were thrown off in this arc like that. Wonderful, stopping the advance of this guy, which in fact is a carronade ship. So he needs to get close to get his guns off. As you can see, the Ajax and the Niger, close one, close call that one. The Niger and Ajax is leaving to join up with the reinforcements that's coming up there. And then we have my reinforcements coming in from these two angles. We still have the HMS Caledonia, which has been dismasted, but is still fighting. So we'll make sure to put some extra effort into breaking that. But now you know the situation. Ah, the Niger is routing. Soon enough, the two enemy reinforcement fleets will be meeting with us, but as of right now, we still have the carronade one. I have been firing upon it forever. It don't seem to be one to give up. Same with the Ajax. I was able to dismast it, so we've been able to catch up with them. And I've now got the 3 carronade ships coming up, and that should definitely do the job. In terms of where the membership ships are, I kind of lost track of that myself. We got Youngbun here, And then we've got Kirkman's gunners out there. We got Mattia, which was able to take down this Dutch captured frigate that the British had. And then where's the Admiral, of course? There. Kurt over here. Coming up. Nothing super interesting, although seemingly all of the enemy ships seems to be set on fire and exploding. I'm gonna try and align my ships. Right, we were able to, once the carronade ships came up, they gave up pretty quickly. This one is pretty weak. I think the carronades could do... Oh, another enemy ship just blew up. Gonna see about making a line to prepare against the enemy here, as most enemy ships at this point have blown up and surrendered, or in the case of this one is trying to get away, even though they have no sails whatsoever. The carronade ships are super powerful. The enemy admiral on the Newton came up. I was able to get their ships lined up on both sides, fire their broadsides. They were down in seconds. Now we're gonna see if we can do the same over here. At this point in the battle, we have a clear advantage, as you might be able to see. There's a lot of British ships surrendering, but there's a few of ours as well. But at the same time, at this point, it's kind of become a very clustered fight where we're all over the place, and it's kind of hard to keep track on where everyone is going. The big ship that we need to take down that's still fighting is the Glasgow, which is down here. Once that one is dealt with, I would say I have won the battle. Until then, the battle continues on. But I would say that I'm pretty good chances. I have one carronade frigate left. The amount of damage the carronade frigates are able to do, like, you can noticeably see after one of their broadsides that they usually lose one color. They drop one color once these guys pass. And as I was able to do in a few areas where I had all three of them pass one after another, the enemy ship couldn't withstand that. So, absolute destruction. And now I've got the bigger ships coming up, like the Austerlitz in the Sansculotte, which is coming up and absolutely just wrecking the enemy with just the amount of guns they've got on their ships. But yeah, the fight goes on. Ah, damn! A small ship just ran up and exploded right next to Sansculotte. My admiral and his ship is completely engulfed in flames. Disaster! Even dismasted, the Glasgow still puts up a great fight, but he's about to be surrounded by my entire fleet, and he's been pummeled severely by my last carronade ship. He won't stand for too long. I am victorious at the high seas, and he wasn't one of those sort of slimy, just sliding by. It was a proper bloody victory. We really beat the British. Or like what I mean is that it wasn't one of those fights where we were super even and I won by like, you know, an inch or two. Here it was a substantial naval victory over the British. They lost 7 ships, we lost 1. This is, however, not true, really, as there was plenty more ships lost. Their entire fleet. I don't think any of them are going to be left standing after this. It says that I only lost 1, which isn't right either. I don't know, it seems like we might... Oh, the Austerlitz. Which one was it? This one, Sans-Culotte. It seems to have survived. So we might have just put out the fire, but I mean, you can see it's half the crew died in the fire, and about half the guns were decommissioned as well. But this was a great naval victory and just what we need to clear the seas of the British and then open up for... I'm not going to take on the HMS Hindustan. It's a quite small ship, I believe. So I've no interest in taking it on. Not that I need the prize money either. So the main British fleet sunk. Okay, so I guess they just ran away, which seems very unlikely. This one definitely surrendered. Mattia took that one out, I believe. What was the Kirkman's gunners? Liberator, that one definitely also surrendered. HMS Charlotte, what? That one, I thought that one exploded. Redoubtable. This seems very odd. Well, this fleet lost a ship, so you will join that. More interested in destroying these 2. So we'll follow up with an auto-resolve, I think. This fleet is the one that can move furthest, so you will move up alongside. And then we will strike. I am not interested in leaving any of these British bastards left. Of course, I should have known, auto-resolve, I ended up losing 5 ships. Which certainly wasn't great. The enemy ended up losing 4, but I think we recaptured the Redoubtable. Great. And I'm going to take on the Charlotte because that one is a large ship. So even though we lost 5, we gained 2, regained one of our old ships, and the Charlotte is a rather large ship. Somehow 2 of these bastards still managed to get away. The risk here. Charlotte can go to port already. It has no guns. I'm surprised they keep surviving, the bastards. Somehow. Somehow they survive. Here, we cannot lose anyone here. Oh, we still ended up losing one. The Acorn. Don't tell the American police about that one. Right, so we became a little bit of a mess post-battle as we lost more ships in trying to chase down the enemy. But the British now only has 2 broken down ships in the area. And there's no way the British are going to attack us, so they're going to leave. We're going to be able to repair our fleets. I've got more ships on the way and then recruiting even more. So we will be putting a lot of effort into breaking down the British. And then I will leave it up to you where you think we should send the Polish army, should it disembark and head for Crimea, or should it head for Great Britain? As for this video, I guess it will be a rather short one. I don't think we can fit anything else, and you know what, for once, I might actually get a 30-minute video. It has been the goal to try and keep it around 30 minutes, or the old goal. I clearly have broken it, since at this point I've released videos that are over an hour long, an hour and almost 15 minutes, I think. So we've clearly broken the 30-minute mark, but yeah, this one will be a change, because I already probably have a lot of editing to do to capture that naval battle and splice the different pieces in together. But this was a great victory over the British. Now we just need to keep this up and keep the British Navy away, keep Spain clear, and I can probably leave the area with Grouchy, so he can go ahead and join where he's needed, which is against Prussia. And you know what? With all of that said, I will say, as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.